Hey guys, sorry I missed you earlier. We tried to FaceTime and it didn't work. What we're going to talk about today are the principles of linear kinematics and the activities I want you doing for your homework. We have a special guest today, Kalen Ludvigsen. He's the tumbler that you saw on the video from the World Cup in Denmark, and I'm going to have him speak and talk about how linear kinematics come into play with what he does as an athlete.
Hi everyone. With what Dr. Cummings was speaking about, for tumbling, one major component for us is acceleration and hitting the angles to transition from skills where we call a block angle with our feet behind us and shoulders in front, coming to a transition angle where we have our shoulders behind and feet in front to build acceleration into bigger skills. So one thing that's really important is using our arms to maintain acceleration and maintain speed and to build acceleration. And without hitting the right transition angle, having your feet in front, then that's one of the major problems people have in losing speed and losing height as a factor of that.
Kalen, what about your body as a projectile? A lot of people think that projectiles are just balls or a horseshoe or a golf ball or a baseball. How do you think about your body as a projectile when you're going down into a tumbling pass?
Using your body as a projectile, one component of that is using your arms and legs as a tool to gain speed and maintain speed. And one thing that we focus on a lot is, like I said, the block angle and transition angle, which are major components, and with flaws in those areas, it can destroy a whole pass.
So if you come out of a skill, and let's say you're going into one of your most difficult skills, the angle that you leave the mat is critical. Oh,
yeah, definitely. If you come out of your transition with your shoulders too far upright, the skill after a large skill to gain speed we call a whip, and not being in the correct angle, you can lose all speed and all momentum into your larger skill, which would not be successful.
Neat. So for you as a tumbler, you're using projectile angle and height to impact acceleration as well.
Yeah, and our training regimen is only working on perfecting those angles and being able to see the mat underneath us and learning how far we need to pull our shoulders behind us to maintain speed out of large skills into other skills.
Well, super. Kalen, thank you so much.
Thank
Everybody
you.
Say bye to Kalen.
Bye, guys.
He's going to go train now. And what I'm going to have you do, let's talk about what your homework activities are. I want to have you do 3 assignments. The first one is going to be to do a shuttle run. And if you remember that from elementary school, you have the eraser about 10 yards apart. You run from one to the other, drop one, pick it up, go to the other side, drop it. And what I want you to focus on in your response paper, which will just be 1 paragraph, is what do you feel in the acceleration when you speed up and then you have to slow down, pick up the eraser, turn directions, and then speed up, grab the eraser, slow down again. If you go back to the PowerPoint that I have on the portal, you're going to use the slide that has the 4 pictures with acceleration showing positive, 0, and negative. So your first response paragraph will be on acceleration and how the change in velocity over time impacts whether it's positive, 0, or negative. Your second paragraph response will be on projectiles. And what I want you to do is either think of Kalen, think of the athlete that you're doing for your project. If it's Kobe Bryant, then the ball would be the projectile. If it's a football quarterback, the football would be the projectile. But discussed based on the PowerPoint slides how projectile angle, projectile speed, the relative height, and gravity impact the outcome of the projectile. And remember in your response paragraph that gravity affects every projectile at negative 9.81 meters per second squared. The next thing I want you to do is to discuss in relationship to your athlete the difference between linear displacement and linear distance. For example, if you have a marathon runner who starts and finishes at the same spot, the distance will actually be 26.2 miles, but the displacement would be 0 because they start and stop at the same time. So in essence, they ran 26.2 miles for nothing because their displacement was 0. So to recap, go back over the PowerPoint Your 2 response or your 3 response paragraphs will be about velocity and acceleration, using the shuttle run as an example or using your athlete. Do a paragraph response on projectiles with the 4 key elements of projectile angle, projectile speed, relative height, and gravity. And then have a response paragraph on linear displacement and linear distance. All right, guys, we probably won't see you again until England, Birmingham. Kayla and I say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. We'll see you from the arena. Take care.